Aloha, you're watching F5 On Demand. I'm Technical Marketing Manager Peter Silva. We're here in the city by the bay at the Moscone Center for RSA Conference 2013. We're in booth 1354. If you're at the show, please come on by. And we're fortunate to have Mark Elliott with us. He's the founder and EVP at Quarri Technologies. Thanks for joining us, Mark.
Thank you for having me, Pete. Sorry.
It's okay.
Shall we do that again?
Nah, let's just keep going. So we announced that we have a technology integration partnership going, and so first I wanted to understand and maybe share with our viewers a little bit about Quarri Technologies and what exactly you guys do.
Well, Quarri is a company that's very focused on securing browser data in use. So a lot of people don't realize that information, even if it's delivered over an SSL tunnel, is really at risk when it gets down to the endpoint. And so we have a solution that enables a web application owner to deliver and enforce the use of a protected browser. This protected browser defends the data in the browser from both malware reaching in and lifting it, stealing it, that might be malware active on the endpoint. But it also controls what users can do, because users are a critical risk element in any secured web application, and so we can control what users can do. Can they take the data? Can they exfiltrate the data from within the protected browser, copying, printing, clipboarding, even print screening? So what we do is we give web application owners the ability to control the other end of the SSL connection.
You know, that's interesting, because I've said for many years that I think over time the browser has become our personal confidant. We will type things into the browser that we won't tell our doctor, that we won't tell our spouse, that we won't tell our best friends, yet somehow we'll tell this browser, and it's becoming our primary method of communication.
And we load up all sorts of plugins of varying degrees of reliability and risk, and so the browser is the main information portal. Right, for end users, and if you look at most malware trends, they're not attacking. I mean, products like F5 do an incredible job of defending the server side of the equation. The bad guys, they're always looking for the lowest bar, to attack, and most malware trend, it's clear that they're attacking the endpoint.
Right.
And so really, at the end of the day, high assurance web application owners really need to gain some sort of control over the other end of the connection. Right now all they can do is require end users to jump through multiple factors of authentication and things, but malware can be running in the browser that can subvert even a strongly authenticated web connection. And so that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to provide tools to help mitigate the risks of the browser, again, for high assurance web applications.
Sure, and we have, so you maybe can see behind us, and we'll put the link to this particular video that's playing behind us right down there. You can see it now. But this is a video that Quarri did. You guys are actually the first to do a guest edition of my in 5 minutes or less, so I love this video. But so with the video playing behind, and maybe not get into this so much, is talk a little bit about the integration, like how you guys then play with the BIG-IP.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, the BIG-IP does an incredible job of defending and making highly available and optimized access to web servers. So what we have is we've worked together with F5 to have a drop-in script, iRule script, drops into like an LTM, and basically it allows the LTM to essentially see when a user's trying to access a web application that's protected with our technology, and if the user is coming in unprotected, to redirect the user to go get the armored browser, right? So we deliver this browser on the fly. Our integration includes the ability to serve our agent directly out of the BIG-IP's cache.
Got it.
So it's highly optimized, and it's really quite a very strong integration story. And because so many of the F5 customers are doing SSL offload, it's a perfect extension for them. So the integration is very clean.
I mean, there's so many browsers out there, and particularly now the mobile browsers, and then various sites have their different technologies of the way they deliver their content. I mean, isn't what you're doing pretty hard? Isn't it like complicated to some extent?
Well, that's why we have patents and stuff like that. I mean, and a good engineering team to address that. But I mean, at the end of the day, what we do is we deliver an on-the-fly browser. So, so then we don't have to control what the code is on the end user's machine. All they have to do is accept the browser, and like in 5 to 10 seconds it starts up. And the browser is controlled by a policy that sits on the other side. Nice. So in the browser you can say, hey, you can't have any, by policy you can define, you know what, you can't have any plugins running, you can't copy or print or clipboard, and you can only go to f5.com or quarri.com, and you can't open URLs to anywhere else.
Got it, okay.
So there's a control factor as well as a defense factor.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And in watching the video, it's kind of neat to see. So you can go to a nasty site, if you will, or a bad site. Everything's fine. You plug in the iRule, get the integration going, and they try it again, and it's that appearance of, oh, sorry, no go.
Exactly, and with F5, it'll enforce the use of the protected browser and do it in a very hard to forge manner, so that we can, the F5 is enforcing the use of the protected browser, or they deny the user access to the protected web application. So if you're not armored at the endpoint, with this on-the-fly browser, if you don't want to run it, you don't accept running it, then the bottom line is you can be denied access to that resource. And in this way, it allows a website owner to at least enforce and to know, maybe for internal policy requirements or PCI compliance purposes, they know that the other side is protected.
All the way down to the end.
All the way to the endpoint. End-to-end security.
Great stuff, Mark. I love that. It's fascinating. So thanks for joining us. How do people find you guys online?
Obviously our website, www.quarri.com, and we're also available on Twitter and Facebook, and the normal standard.
The usual stuff. Cool. Thanks again, Mark.
Appreciate it.
So check out the video. I'll put it in the description. So for Mark with Quarri, thank you again. I got my man Jonathan behind the lens. Thanks, Jonathan. I'm Peter, and I'm with F5 Networks. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.